I never thought I would be one of those women writing about betrayal online, but here I am. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, Daniel, 34M, for almost 7 years. We met in college, dated for a while, and eventually tied the knot after 5 years of being together. For most of that time, I genuinely believed we had a strong, solid relationship. We weren't perfect, of course. We had our ups and downs like anyone else, but I trusted him completely. I thought we were a team. Daniel works in finance, and about 2 years ago, he joined a new company that was supposed to be a huge step up for him. Better pay, better opportunities, more prestige. I was happy for him, even though it meant long hours, late-night calls, and occasional weekend work. I always supported him because I believed he was doing it for us, for our future. But then came her. Her name is Julia. She's around 28, pretty, smart. The kind of woman you notice when she walks into a room. Daniel mentioned her casually at first. "Oh, Julia from my team said this funny thing today." Or, "Julia stayed late to help me with a presentation." I didn't think anything of it. I'm not a jealous person, and I didn't want to be that wife who interrogates her husband about female coworkers. But over time, I noticed Julia's name popping up more and more. He'd text during dinner, and when I asked who it was, he'd casually say, "Oh, it's Julia. She just had a question." I'd see him smiling at his phone late at night. Once, when I jokingly asked if I should be jealous of this Julia, he laughed it off and said, "Don't be silly, she's just a colleague." Still, something about it didn't sit right with me. Things started to change at home. He seemed distant, distracted. We used to spend our evenings curled up on the couch watching shows together, but now he was always too tired or had work to finish. Our intimacy dropped off significantly. Whenever I brought it up, he brushed it off, saying he was just stressed from work. The first real red flag came one Friday night when he told me he had a, quote, work dinner with some clients. Normally, he'd tell me about these things in advance, but this time he just mentioned it casually an hour before leaving. I asked if I could join him. After all, I sometimes went to company events before, and he got weirdly defensive. "It's not that kind of dinner," he said quickly. "It would be boring for you." He didn't come home until after midnight. When he did, he smelled faintly of perfume. Not mine. I tried to brush it off, telling myself I was being paranoid, but deep down, my gut screamed that something wasn't right. A week later, while doing laundry, I found a receipt in his pocket for a fancy restaurant. The date and time matched that, quote, work dinner, but the receipt was for 2 people. No mention of clients, no group table, just dinner for 2. I confronted him about it, and he got defensive again. It was just me and Julia. We were discussing a project. He said it like it was no big deal, like I was crazy for even asking. When I told him it felt inappropriate, he rolled his eyes and said, "God, you're overreacting. Can't I even have dinner with a coworker without being accused of cheating?" I wanted to believe him. I really did. But the seed of doubt had been planted. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing more signs. He was suddenly dressing nicer for work. New shirts, cologne, even styling his hair differently. He changed his phone password, which he had never done before. And he started working late almost every night. One night, curiosity got the better of me. While he was in the shower, I glanced at his phone, which he'd carelessly left unlocked that time. I didn't go through all his apps, but I saw a notification pop up from WhatsApp, "Can't wait to see you again." My heart dropped. I didn't say anything that night. I just lay in bed beside him, wide awake, listening to his steady breathing while my mind raced. Was I imagining things? Was I overreacting? Or was my husband actually having an affair with his colleague? The breaking point came 2 weeks later, when his office had a team-building event.
He said it was an overnight retreat at a hotel outside the city. My gut screamed at me that something was off, but he was adamant. "It's mandatory. I'll be back tomorrow." Well, he did come back the next day, but something about him was different. He looked guilty and tired, and when I hugged him, that same perfume was there again. That's when I knew I couldn't ignore it anymore.
The night after he came back from that team building, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I told him we needed to talk. I sat him down and said, as calmly as I could, "Daniel, are you having an affair with Julia?" For a moment, he looked stunned. His face went pale, and then he laughed nervously. "What? No, of course not. Why would you even think that?" I didn't raise my voice. I just told him everything I had noticed. The late nights, the perfume, the texts, the secretive behavior, the dinner receipt, and finally, the WhatsApp message. That was when his mask cracked. He didn't outright admit it at first. He tried to twist things, gaslight me, make me feel like I was crazy. "You're imagining things. You're paranoid. It was just harmless flirting. It didn't mean anything." But then I pressed harder. "Did you sleep with her at the retreat?" Silence. The look on his face told me everything I needed to know. He finally admitted it. He said it had just happened once, that it was a mistake, that he was drunk and didn't mean to hurt me. But you know what? Cheating isn't something that just happens. You don't accidentally fall into bed with a colleague. That takes planning, lies, and choices. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. My husband, the man I had trusted with everything, had betrayed me. All those late nights, all those excuses, it wasn't stress, it wasn't work, it was her. I couldn't even look at him. I told him to leave. He begged, he cried, he said he loved me and it was just a stupid mistake. But in that moment, all I saw was a stranger. The days that followed were a blur. He stayed at a friend's place, and I tried to make sense of what had happened. Part of me wanted to believe him when he said it was only once, but another part of me, the rational part, knew that if he lied for months, if he let it get that far, it wasn't just once. It was an ongoing affair. I reached out to Julia myself. I don't even know what I was hoping for. An apology? The truth? Closure? She didn't deny it. In fact, she was cold and dismissive, like I was the crazy one for even confronting her. "It wasn't serious. You should probably talk to your husband instead of bothering me." That was when I realized neither of them cared about what they had done to me. I filed for separation shortly after. It wasn't an easy decision. We had 7 years together, a house, mutual friends, but I couldn't stay with someone who shattered my trust like that. I started therapy, leaned on my friends and family, and slowly began rebuilding myself. Now, months later, I'm still processing it. Some days I feel strong, other days I feel broken all over again. But one thing I know for sure, I deserve better than a man who lies to my face and cheats behind my back. If you take anything away from this story, let it be this. Listen to your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't let someone convince you that your instincts are paranoia. I wish I had trusted myself sooner.